Time now for the Nick Hart Show, our weekly chat with the Gibson Southern Titans head football coach. The Nick Hart Show on 89.1 The Bash is made possible by Matt Michael of AgriGold, Brett's Car Care, Chips, Sell My Teas, Cox Family Eye Care PC, Daylight Land Management, Du Bois County Garage Doors Incorporated, Duke Energy, Fort Branch Dairy Queen, Gerald and Trudy Bledsoe, Hob Range Hood Company, Hobstadt Summerfest, Hydorn Construction, Hilliard Lions, Matt Monroe, in memory of Darwin and Eric Kalis, Johnson Commercial Mowing, Julia's School of Dance, Kathy Solman Photography, Kiesel Enterprises Incorporated, Kissel Farms Incorporated, Lewis Plumbing and Heating, Make Your Mark, Mayflower Gardens and Gifts, MyTech Systems, Whole Concrete Construction, Pro Rehab, Progressive Health Rehabilitation and Orthopedic Associates, Roberts Boring, Trenching and Excavating LLC, Sandy's Pizza, Scheller's Carriage Inn, Scotty's Lawn Equipment, South Gibson Grain, 10 Barge Seed, Trapping and Removal of Animal Pest, Titan Youth Football League, United Fidelity Bank, and by Ziliac Enterprises. Now, the Nick Hart Show on 89.1 The Bash.
All right, well, it's homecoming week here for the Gibson Southern Titans, but right now, welcome to the Nick Hart Show. I am Bob Bowser, and joining me as head coach of the Gibson Southern Titans, Nick Hart. And Coach, your Titans are now 3-1 overall and 3-0 still in the Pocket Athletic Conference after the very tough loss to a very good 6A squad in Southport on Saturday afternoon, 43-35. So let's take a look at the team and individual stats from the first non-conference game of the season. Starting right off the bat here, total offense. Your Gibson Southern Titans amassed 414 yards in the ball game, but unfortunately Southport had 524 yards. As far as rushing yards, Gibson Southern had 134, Southport had 148. Passing yards was 280 for the Titans, 376 for Southport. But here's where things get a little tough to take because you've really played turnover-free football the first three games. But we did have a fumble and a couple of interceptions, so there were 3 turnovers overall, so we lost the turnover battle 3-0. And then looking at third down conversions, this is a point of emphasis I know for you, for not just for this year, but for every year that you've been coaching. The Titans were 5 for 12, 41.7% of those third down conversions were completed, which I know you would prefer to be in the 60 to 70% range. So penalty yards, I mean, you had 6 for 55 penalties. Penalties were not an issue. Really a clean game for the ball club. But the turnovers is where everything, if you put one big star, one big circle, it's on the turnovers.
I think turnovers and then, us on defense on third and fourth down, we had them in some really tough situations, 3rd and 12, 3rd and 11, 3rd and 8, and let them out of jail there a little bit. I thought those two things, were the two biggest things in the ball game.
And then now looking at some of the individual stats from the afternoon, Brady Allen was 19 for 30 for 280 yards. He did have 3 touchdowns as well as the 2 interceptions. Rushing stats, Mitchell Spindler, what an awesome day Mitchell had. 23 carries for 112 yards and a touchdown. Brady Allen had 6 carries for 15 yards and a touchdown. Ben Butler had 3 carries for 7 yards. So looking at the rushing stats, I mean, Mitchell Spindler had an outstanding afternoon.
Oh, phenomenal. And our O-line, did a great job. They started doing some things up front that we hadn't seen them do. I think they were trying to, combat what we were doing on the ground and give some different looks and stuff. So our O-line did an excellent job. And then Mitch, and he you better square him up if you want to tackle him. He broke several arm tackles on Saturday. Had a tremendous game. I know you're getting ready to go to receiving. He did a great job catching the ball in the backfield as well.
Well, before I even go to the receiving part, I mean, we talk here about the job that Mitchell did, but he doesn't get the job done if those 5 big boys up front don't get the job done. And I'm going to even add in a 6th one with the H-back. Ryan Holzmeyer, Aaron Breivogel, Eli Ziliak, Braden Tucker, Alex Breivogel, and then the H-back Caleb Sellers. What a beautiful job they did blocking for the run all day long.
Yeah, and teams have really had a problem running the football against them. So that's a great sign that we were able to do that.
Well, and then on the receiving side, as you mentioned, Mitchell Spindler had 4 receptions for 95 yards and a touchdown. Adam May had 5 receptions for 71 yards, another big game for Adam, and a touchdown. Ben Butler had 5 receptions for 49 yards. Caleb Sellers had a big reception for 32 yards and a touchdown. Logan Murphin comes up and gets a couple of great catches. I was pretty happy with the way Logan played the other day. Had 2 receptions, 24 yards, and Seth DeLong had 2 receptions for 9 yards. And then you threw in Logan Murphin on me for punting. That kind of threw my day off. I was just mixed up all afternoon. But Logan did an awesome job with the punting game too.
Yeah, he did. I thought our receivers played really well. Their secondary is very good, very athletic. We made some really tough catches in tight windows. Brady did a great job of fitting it into the tight window. But a great job by our receivers on Saturday.
Well, and then going over to the defensive side, Carter Green has 10 solo tackles, 2 assists, and a tackle for loss. Max Beatles had 8 solo, 6 assists. Sterling Stalker was in on 7 solo, 3 assists, and a tackle for loss. Colton Stefanich had 5 solo and 2 assists. Tanner Moskos had 5 solo tackles. Tucker Bowes had 4 solo and an assist. So again, it's all spread out throughout for this group, but your 2 interior linebackers got a workout on this day.
Yeah, they did. I thought we did a great job up front of freeing them up, and you listed a lot of guys there too. We did a great job of getting to the football, especially some of their athletes. Like the quarterback, he broke some tackles, but we always had multiple bodies getting to the football.
All right, so let's take a quick break here. When we come back, we'll get your overall thoughts from game number 4 concerning the offense, defense, and special teams. But right now, we need to thank the folks that make the Nick Hart Show possible on 89.1 The Bash.
The Nick Hart Show is brought to you by Hilliard Lyons and Matt Monroe, Hydorn Construction, Hobstadt Summerfest, Hobb Range Hood Company, Gerald and Trudy Bledsoe, Fort Branch Dairy Queen, Duke Energy, Du Bois County Garage Doors Incorporated, Daylight Land Management, Cox Family Eye Care PC, Chips, Sell My Tees, Brett's Car Care, and Matt Michael of Agrigold. You love sports. You're your team's ultimate fan. Why not turn that passion into the ultimate career? Enroll now in the brand new Sports Marketing and Media program at Wabash Valley College. Learn how to use digital video and other media to add to the fan experience, how to engage fans on social media, and how to create excitement by hosting events and promotions. Get off the sidelines and into the game. Find out more about the WVC Sports Marketing and Media program online at www.iecc.edu or by phone at 618-262-8641.
Thank you for listening to 89.1 The Bash and the Nick Hart Show. So, all right, Coach, let's start first of all with your thoughts on the offense from week number 4 against Southport. As really that first quarter, when you look at the scoring, we won the first quarter, we won the third quarter, and we won the fourth quarter. The second quarter, the goose egg up on the board from the offense hurt. And you got to give credit to Southport. They're undefeated also for a reason. So they took advantage of the miscues and was able to put the ball in the end zone and win that second quarter in a big way. That ended up propelling them to the victory.
Yeah, the second quarter was huge. They went on a long drive. I think we held them to a field goal. We punted. They scored. We threw an interception. They scored. We didn't have the ball. And I'm not even talking time of possession. We didn't have very many plays in the second quarter, and that put our defense on the field for a lot of plays. And I thought, the second quarter, not only it put us behind the 8 ball, like scoring and everything. But I thought that was a big deal and kind of hanging our defense out to dry, being on the field a lot for a lot of plays in the second quarter. But the offense, I think there's good and bad. I mean, they play a really good schedule, in the early part of the year. And, nobody's even come close to scoring 35 points on them. So I think that says a lot about what our offense is capable of doing. On the flip side is the 3 turnovers. I think, you set them up for a short field a couple of times on those turnovers. And those are big deals. Every time we turned the ball over, they were in plus territory and set them up with scores, whether it be a field goal or a touchdown. So, part of that is why we play this game. I thought like on Brady's first pick, he made the right read. And if he throws it a second earlier, we probably score a touchdown. The kid, jumped the hitch and the corner route was open. And he was just a little late with the ball, and their kid recovered, who's a heck of an athlete. He recovered and made a play. In our first couple games, we probably still score a touchdown with that ball being a second late. And obviously, they're a lot better, more athletic, and, they make you pay for being a little late with the ball. And obviously, I think one of the things I took out of the game and to our kids is, it's better to learn these lessons now in week 4 than to learn them in week 12 or 13 or 14 if you get there, down the road. So, I think that there's really good and really bad takeaways. We got to do a better job and take care of the football. But the good takeaway is, we scored a lot of points against a defense that's not giving up points. They played a really good Columbus North team who's been scoring points last week and only gave up 7 points. So a lot of bright sides, to come out of the ball game on the offensive side.
Well, and even the bad points, those are good points. Yep. Because right now, something we talked about in the post game, and I know you talked with others about it in the post game, is the fact that sometimes these young kids, when things are going so well, we as coaches kind of look kind of dumb at times. They're like, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. Film doesn't lie. Mm-hmm. You can't lie on film. And now you have things to be able to show them to say, look, we're not so dumb. Let's go out and work on this, and we'll get better. There's no harm, no foul. It's not like we lost the playoffs and we can't play after week number 9. So this is an opportunity to learn and get better.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why we want to play these games. We got one in the non-conference this year, several next year, and that's what we want to get out of these games. So you would like to win a tight ball game and still learn those lessons, but
well, there's no moral victories ever. No. But if there is one, this is one.
No, and I think too, man. And we talked about this in the post game. The way our kids competed, until the very end was unbelievable. I mean, we got a shot. There's like 48 bodies it seemed like on that onside kick, and if we come up with that, we got the ball at the 40-yard line with a chance to go tie it. And I think a lot of teams, given the circumstances, a hot day and playing a bigger school, whenever they kind of push it to 16 or whatever, would have kind of folded up shop and said, well, we gave her a run, we're gonna shut it down for the day, and we didn't do that at all. We got to stop on defense. Offense took over, went down and scored, and had a chance there. So I was really proud. I thought there were several times. And I was looking for it, to kind of see how we were going to react, and we never flinched. We kept competing, and we made a lot of mistakes, but we kept competing until the very end.
Well, let's go over to the defensive side, because we talked about that offensive line and the job they did, and something Jason and I had talked about going up there was how will the line of scrimmage, will we be able to handle ourselves on the line of scrimmage, especially on this defensive side? If they get to the second level because they're able to block with very few guys and they can get down and get on your linebackers, that makes for big plays. And defensively, I thought, especially in the run game, you had that bottled up pretty well. Here's a ball club that only threw the ball twice the week before, ran it 59 times. And now all of a sudden, they look like they're the Green Bay Packers running out there on the field and got Aaron Rodgers in the backfield.
Well, I think one of the things that kind of changes, 82 hadn't played in their first 3 games.
I just found that out post game,
and so that caught us a little bit off guard. And honestly, he changed their offense, because obviously he's very dynamic, and it gives them a guy that can go get the football. So, we came in and we tried to adjust once we figured out how good 82 was. But, we came in and the quarterback's a tremendous athlete, and they hadn't thrown the ball, with a ton of success in the first 3 games. And so we wanted to make them, take away their strong suit and, make them beat us throwing the football, which puts our DBs on some islands. And, then obviously when we found out how good 82 was, we tried to adjust and get our coverage rolled that way a little bit to him. And then that's kind of when they got us on the ground a little bit because we had to take one more guy out of the box. And that's when you play great offenses, that's what they do. And they did a good job of kind of taking what we were giving them, whether we were, playing for the pass or playing for the run or what have you. But, there's some things, I thought we could have done a lot better job in the secondary, even though we were putting them in a tough spot. And, we blew 2 coverages for touchdowns, and that's a completely different deal where, some of the plays like 82 just went and got the ball. Like, all right, you live. They're gonna, and that was kind of the message in the postgame. They're gonna make plays. We can't help them make plays. And the 2 blown coverages, we helped. They didn't have to do anything. They just had to, not screw up. So, I think I was really proud of the way we played up front with our front 7. And again, they put you in a bind. They got a lot of athletes, and if we would have emptied out the box completely and played cover 2 and stuff all the time, the quarterback would have been watching him run up and down the field. So it was a little pick your poison. But again, we can't blow coverages. That's and especially against really good teams like that, you do that and they're going to make you pay, and they did.
All right, so let's go over to special teams, where unfortunately we had an extra point blocked. First one all year that's been missed. We've been picture perfect on the extra point team. Had one block, but come right back and obviously made the rest of them that were needed to be made. Kickoff wise, had the one kickoff return that we gave up, which has not been something that the kickoff return team. So even in this third and final phase of the game, there are things on film that can be cleaned up, and it's a good coaching tool at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. And Jake did a good job of adjusting. He just had to, and again, one of the reasons you go play teams like this is he was just, the snap, hold kick was a little slow on the one that got blocked. It came off the edge, and that's all on the timing of it, and we sped it up after that, and we're fine. And I thought kickoff team did a good job, other than the one that they popped, with some really good dudes out there. Punt team did a good job in coverage all night, and Logan did a good job of kicking it. So again, kind of like the other 2 phases of the game, I thought there was some really good stuff, and then obviously some stuff that we need to clean up on film.
All right, well, Coach, we need to thank some of the supporters of the Nick Hart Show, and when we come back, we'll take a quick look around the Pocket Athletic Conference to wrap up Week 4 of the 2019 season and get prepared for Week 5. As you are listening to the Nick Hart Show on 89.1 The Bash.
The Nick Hart Show is brought to you by Progressive Health Rehabilitation and Orthopedic Associates, Roberts Boring, Trenching, and Excavating, LLC, Sandy's Pizza, Scheller's Carriage Inn, Scotty's Lawn Equipment, South Gibson Grain, 10 Barge Seed, Trapping and Removal of Animal Pest, Titan Youth Football League, United Fidelity Bank, and by Ziliak Enterprises.
Interested in becoming a highly paid manufacturing professional? Industry is desperately seeking skilled technicians, people who can solve problems by using their minds as well as their hands. Those who communicate, work in a team environment, and solve problems using today's technology. At Wabash Valley College, we're making skilled professionals desiring a career, not just a job. What will you be making? To get started in the Advanced Manufacturing Program, contact WVC today at 618-262-8641 or visit iecc.edu/WVC.
Welcome back to the Nick Hart Show on 89.1 The Bash. I am Bob Bowser, and joining me is the head coach of the Titans, Nick Hart. So, Coach, let's talk Pocket Athletic Conference and week number 4 scores. Real quick going through here on last Friday night, Forest Park blanked Tecumseh 26-0. Good win for Forest Park.
Great win. They're 2-2 now. Their 2 losses are to us and Southridge, so they're playing good football.
And then Heritage Hills in a battle. I mean, this is just a battle royale. It was in the jungle. Heritage Hills wins over Jasper 17-14.
Yeah, and that's always, a close game. It seems like always comes down to a field goal or something. But another really good win for Heritage Hills and continue to roll.
And then Owensboro Catholic defeated South Spencer 54-14. That Owensboro Catholic team's pretty good.
Yeah, they are. And South Spencer's still trying to get things jump started.
And then Southridge just keeps rolling here. They defeated North Posey 37-7. And the final one here, Tell City defeats Pike Central 48-14. Tell City putting some points up on the board.
Yeah, I think they're 3-1 now. So their only losses to Heritage Hills. So they continue to improve.
Well, I'm taking a quick look here at the standings. Your Titans are still 3-0 in the conference, 3-1 overall. Heritage Hills is 2-0 in the conference, 4-0 overall. Southridge is 2-0 in the conference, 4-0 overall. Tell City, it has here that Tell City's 2-1 in the conference and 3-1 overall. And then North Posey is 1-2 in conference play, 1-3 overall. Forest Park is 0-2 in the conference, but they're 2-2 overall. Pike Central is 0-2 in the conference and 0-4 overall. South Spencer is 0-3 in the conference, 0-4 overall. So coming up this Friday night, looking at Heritage Hills at North Posey. Heritage Hills having to go on the road here to take on the Vikings.
Yeah, North Posey going through a tough stretch here where they went us and then Southridge and now Heritage Hills. So hopefully they're still healthy and HH looking to just keep the train rolling.
Well, and then Pike Central is going to travel to Forest Park, and Forest Park's going to look to get themselves another victory and get above the 500 mark overall.
Yeah, it'd be great for that program to get that done. So Coach Fuse has them playing well and has a couple of good non-conference wins and looking to get on the board in the conference.
And then Southridge is at South Spencer.
Yeah, Southridge is just, they're playing good football. And everybody they lost and everything. I think even their new quarterback got hurt and they just continue to roll and that says a lot about Coach B and his staff and that program is they just get them rolling and they're always going to play good football.
And then Springs Valley at Tell City. Is that Owen Springs Valley? I don't even know. I know nothing about Springs Valley at Tell City, but I'm going to tell you right now, they better buckle up because this Tell City ball club, first time in a couple years that, they're playing some football.
Yeah. Coach in his second year there. Last year, I can't remember what their record ended up being, but they lost a ton of ball games by like a touchdown or less. They had a chance to have a really good year last year if they could have found a way to win some close ball games. But they've really improved here in year 2.
All right, Coach, so there's one more segment to go, which means it's time to get the listeners ready for Friday night homecoming as your team prepares to take on the Princeton Tigers in a non-conference matchup. But first, let's thank some of the underwriters of the Nick Hart Show on 89.1 The Bash.
The Nick Hart Show is brought to you by Pro Rehab, Whole Concrete Construction, MyTech Systems, Mayflower Gardens and Gifts, Make Your Mark, Lewis Plumbing and Heating, Kissel Farms Incorporated, Kiesel Enterprises Incorporated, Kathy Solman Photography, Julia's School of Dance, Johnson Commercial Mowing, and in memory of Darwin and Eric Kalis.
Is your passion sports, healthcare, agriculture, food, people, coffee? Well, just what do all these have in common? Well, how about sales, accounting, economics, management, marketing, customer service, and a whole lot more? With such a wide range of opportunities and interests, there's a career for everyone. Real-world discussions and a relaxed atmosphere of student-instructor interaction is your path to success with the Marketing Business Management degree at Wabash Valley College. For more information, contact WVC today at 618-262-8641 or visit iecc.edu/WVC.
Welcome back to the Nick Hart Show right here on 89.1 The Bash, or you may be using the free app to access the show on your cell phone. So, Coach, it's week number 5. Your Titans will be hosting the Princeton Tigers in a county rivalry ball game. And we will have all the action live on 89.1 The Bash with pregame at 6:45 p.m. Princeton will enter the contest with a record of 1-3 overall. What do you expect to see from the Tigers offensively this week?
The spread, and they do a really good job. They play with the H-back a lot. They'll go empty with the H-back. The QB does a great job of throwing it around. I think he's really improved from last year, and they got a couple of really good kids outside that make plays. So I think they do really good stuff on offense, and have had a chance probably to score more points than what they actually have. Kind of move the ball, and then they kind of shoot themselves in the foot a little bit. So, I think it'll be another good challenge. They throw the ball well. So it's a good chance for our back end of our defense to kind of bounce back and get off the mat from last weekend and hopefully come out and have a good night.
Well, and I got a chance to see Princeton last week against Mount Carmel, but there's another Hardeman. I mean, my word. And again, another playmaker. I mean, just a kid that can get out there and get after it and play.
He's good. He goes and fetches that thing, and they do a good job of finding them. So, that'll certainly be a challenge, and hopefully the back end of our defense steps up.
Well, now let's talk a little bit about their defense. How do you see them trying to stop your offense?
4-man front, and I know that they're young on defense, but they continue to try and get better and improve on that side of the ball.
All right, so let's go to special teams. What have you seen on film as far as their kicking game?
Really sound. Kickers, I don't know if he's made every one, but it seems like he makes every one that I've watched. And kickoffs are high and deep, and and then they have some good kids back there in their return game. So, a really, really sound part of their game.
Well, and it's homecoming week. One of those weeks where it's kind of a trap week at times as coaches. I remember I hated homecoming week because sometimes the kids would put more focus into all the stuff that goes on during the school day, and they're worried about making sure they got their date and they got their kiss lined up. How do you see it coming out this week for your Titans?
Well, I think you're right. Homecoming's a great thing for the school and the community. For the football coach, it leads to a lot of sleepless nights because there's a lot of extracurricular stuff going on. We have the ABC 25 pep rally thing Friday morning, the homecoming, all that stuff. There's a lot going on, and all of it's great. But as a head coach, you just kind of want things.
Let's play football.
And that's always kind of our message. Our job at homecoming is to win the football game. The homecoming dance isn't as fun if you lose the football game. So, that's that's our job, and I think our kids will handle it well. We got a great senior leadership group, and we handled the trip. You would worry about going up to Indy and handling the trip of handling all that, and they did a great job with it. So I think that we'll be focused on football and ready to play on Friday.
Well, and that senior leadership that you talked about has come through this year, whether it's Breivogel or whether it's Spindler, Butler. These guys have stepped up and said, you know what, we've been in this program for 4 years. Here's the way it rolls. Here's the way it's going to roll this week. And that's what you want to see in practices all week leading up to this ball game. Yeah,
they do a great job in practice of making sure everybody's on task and everything, and I expect no different this week. So, there's some years you worry about the homecoming distractions a little bit more than others, and I think our guys will do a great job of handling all that this week.
All right, Coach, so anything else you would like to add for this week's show?
Yeah, it was a great week for our program. All of our underclassmen, JV freshmen, 7th and 8th grade all got wins. So a great week for our young guys, and excited to get back home. It seems like, we've been on the road. I know it's only been 2 weeks, but it seems like it's been a long time since we played at home. So, and then we go on the road for 2 more. So, we're excited to be able to get a home one this week.
All right, Coach. Well, that's all the time we have for today's show. So good luck on Friday night. We'll see you after the game on the post-game show, and best of luck to the players. We would like to thank all of you for joining us here on 89.1 The Bash for the Nick Hart Show. And be sure to catch us each week at 7 p.m. on Tuesday night for your look inside Gibson Southern Titans football. But before we sign off, we would like to thank all of the supporters of the Nick Hart Show right here on 89.1 The Bash.
The Nick Hart Show has been brought to you by Ziliak Enterprises, United Fidelity Bank, Titan Youth Football League, Trapping and Removal of Animal Pest, Tin Barge Seed, South Gibson Grain, Scotty's Lawn Equipment, Scheller's Carriage Inn, Sandy's Pizza, Roberts Boring, Trenching and Excavating LLC, Progressive Health Rehabilitation and Orthopedic Associates, by Pro Rehab, Pole Concrete Construction, MyTech Systems, Mayflower Gardens and Gifts, Make Your Mark, Lewis Plumbing and Heating, Kissel Farms Incorporated, Kiesel Enterprises Incorporated, Kathy Solman Photography, Julia's School of Dance, Johnson Commercial Mowing, in memory of Darwin and Eric Kalis, Hilliard Lyons, Matt Monroe, Hydorn Construction, Hobstadt Summerfest, Hobb Range Hood Company, Gerald and Trudy Bledsoe, Fort Branch Dairy Queen, Duke Energy, Du Bois County Garage Doors Incorporated, Daylight Land Management, Cox Family Eye Care PC, Chips Sell My Teas, Brett's Car Care, and Matt Michael of AgriGold. The Nick Hart Show is a special production of 89.1 The Bash and the Wabash Valley College Radio, TV, and Digital Media Department.